Republicans are trying to bastardize the term DEI to be a slur. When Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was up for confirmation and when Vice President Harris was added to the ticket, they called them DEI hires. They want you to believe that a Harvard graduate with over 20 years of experience, who happens to be a black woman, is not qualified, but a Fox News personality is qualified to run the Department of Defense, and the WWE executive is qualified to run the Department of Education. Let's be real. There is an attempt to create a direct correlation between our race, being a black person, and our qualifications. So much as to say that there is no way to be a black woman. There is no resume that a black person could have that would qualify them unless that black person is a Republican. And there is a quota there.
What makes African and third world debt different from the American debt? Number one, America is never going to pay its debts. It doesn't have to. Its debts are in its own currency. We can simply print it. The African debt is not in its currency. The African debt is in U.S. dollars. Africa has to earn the U.S. dollars, and the only way it can earn the U.S. dollars is not to be assassinated for growing its own food and becoming independent and doing something that the United States does not like. The principle underlying the foundation of the World Bank, the International Bank for IBRD, research, the World Bank, is that no country should grow its own food. Africa and the third world should only grow export crops. To export, in order to have an oversupply of cocoa and other tropical raw materials, to keep down the price, they must buy their grain from the United States or Europe, so that if they do something that we don't like, we can do what America tried to do to China in the 60s. We can sanction them. We can say, we're going to starve you. We're going to not export any grain to you. So owing their foreign debt in dollars means that they have to somehow sell something that the United States wants, not what they want. I think the most evil organizations in the world today are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And my book, Super Imperialism, that I wrote in 1972, is all about that. The largest purchasers of the book were the Defense Department and the CIA. I was immediately, the organization I worked for was given a $75,000, $85,000 Defense Department contract for me to come to explain to them how American imperialism worked, and they used it as a how to do it book.
I think that time will prove me correct. Time will always reveal someone's true character, and if you put that man in a position of power, his true character will be revealed. And let's just put it this way. He has all the money in this country. He's the wealthiest man in the country, and he wasted on rockets, man. Think about it, dude. He could actually help people with that money, but he don't give a about you. He's got all the money in the world to help you. It'd be a penny to him, and you would never have to work again. He don't give a about you, though. He wants to waste it on rockets and waste it on all these cars that suck, and time will reveal the character of that man, and the more he gets under the spotlight, you can't fake it forever. His character will be revealed, and you mark my words, it will be seen that he is a rat and you know, if I had all that money, I would like to think I would help people more than he does.
Peninsula landlord sits behind bars where he will spend the next 17 years. Yesterday, a judge sentenced David Merriman, who owns dozens of rental properties across Newport News and Hampton, after he defrauded the federal government of COVID relief payments while racially intimidating his tenants. In part two of an exclusive sit-down with Alex Littlehales, investigators reflect on why this case is unlike any they've seen in their investigative career.
This is the first case where we have had criminal charges brought against a landlord for knowingly not keeping the property up to safe and sanitary condition. They have to certify that the programs are held to a certain standard, and the facts here are so egregious.
But the federal investigation into David Merriman isn't only about what he did, but how he did it.
I think the uniqueness of this case, though, is the civil rights component of that.
Racist harassment.
Derogatory names, like, do you want me to say them?
Being a Merriman tenant often meant being the subject of physical threats, verbal abuse. Rooted in Merriman's verbal threats were racial slurs and racist intimidation.